Astarion out. We didn't actually look at this. We'll come back to stats in a minute. So we've gone the Shadow of Menza Baranzan. I could have said that wrong. Shrouded in Shadow, which is a class action. Comes with the hood. Visibility ends early if you attack, cast another spell, take an action, or take damage. So there is that. Shade Slayer Cloak. Now I found this on one of the vendors and I thought it'd be really, really good for him. While hiding the number, you need to roll a critical hit while attacking is reduced by 1. This effect can stack. So you stealth critical, and that, well, the number you need to roll a critical hit while attacking is reduced by 1. So it will stack as you attack, which is good. He's wearing the drow-studded leather armor, which I thought was the best appropriate armor. I know Minthara's armor is around here somewhere. I've lost sight of where it is though. I know it's on one of my characters, but I can't remember where. We've got poisonous gloves. Whenever you deal poison damage, the target needs to succeed a Constitution saving throw or become poisoned. Pretty simple. And boost of speed, click heals. I was using that in a previous mission I did. That was a lot of fun. So, even more. Wondrous gloves, your armor class increases by 1, but we don't have anybody's bardic inspiration, so he was wearing that for a little while. He no longer wears that because he wears the poisonous gloves. Goes with his build. Camp clothing. Splendid red outfit. I thought that'd be just nice for him, I thought. I kind of bought a couple of weapons. I'm kind of broke currently. Knife of the Undermountain King. I bought this in Act 2. Reduce the number you need to roll a critical hit while attacking by... well, Organ Ringing Ranger, sorry. Attacking by 1. This effect stacks. When you roll 2 damage or less, re-roll the dice, taking the highest result. Now, I haven't taken these into battle yet, so I don't know how they're going to be. Because it was a stealth mission I did last time with him in it, by himself. Shadowblade, you have an advantage on attack rolls against lightly or heavily obscured targets when using this blade. Weapon enchantment +2. So I thought these two would be really, really good for him. They're both short swords, so they do what they need to do. Sword of Life Stealing. Life Stealing critical. On a critical hit, the target takes an extra 10 necrotic damage, as long as it isn't a construct or an undead. You also gain 10 temporary hit points. All well and good. Weapon enchantment +2. Now the big question is when I go into a certain fight I know I've got to do, how good are they going to be? But I mean, I did get attacked in the camp one time and he obliterated 2 of them. So he's got the Fire Stoker, hand crossbow. Even though he's not proficient with martial weapons or hand crossbows, it's kind of like a backup weapon. Gives an additional 1 to 4 piercing damage to burning targets, so it's pretty simple there. Karlach. My favourite character in the entire game. I've got to admit, out of all the characters, Karlach has been one of my favourites. Yes, Karlach, I'm talking about you. So, I tried to keep the arm... I'm talking about you, Karlach. Stop it. Stop waving your arms around. Please. Don't tell me to get on with it. Right, as I was saying. This is what she looks like in off-duty clothes. Eminent obsidian outfit. It really does suit her, I think. Looks a lot better than her. She was wearing the umber trousers for a little while, but then I thought, nah. Right. I've had a number of armor sets on her all the way through the campaign. I did have the Cap of Ra on her. During combat, when the last stand, during combat when the warrior starts their turn with 50% hit points or less, they gain Wrath for 2 turns. Came in very, very handy. She's like Lae'zel, she's my heavy hitter. If I can get her in really, really quickly, I can hit hard and continue to hit hard. Unwanted Master of Scare Mode. Now, I did try that out, just doesn't look as good as this armor that she's got right now. So, I don't know who to give that to. Linebreaker Boots, same again. Once per turn when you dash, you gain Wrath for 2 turns. See, you can see where I was going with this build. We were going to have Wrath, Rage, and Fury. All built into this class that she was running. And she has been a beast. Not literally, but she smacks enemy from afar and does well, not afar, from close range, and hurts them. Gloves of the Growling Underdog. So I went from Gloves of the Growling Underdog, which I thought was a really good one. The wearer gains advantage on melee attack rolls while surrounded by 2 or more foes. Sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up. Strength saving throws +1. So I thought that was a good one for her at the beginning. This is the problem. I've got a very rare Legacy of the Masters. Gain a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls with weapons. Strength saving throws. But she's currently got the Flawed Helldusk gloves. So I'm kind of in a mix whether I should put them on her or on somebody else. I just don't know who to give them to. I mean, I would have given them to me, but then I'd lose the chart or the frightened thing. She did wear the luminous gloves for a little while, but then I thought, nah, it's just not really helpful. But yeah, through Acts 1 and 2, she wore Gloves of the Growling Underdog for so long. Now she's wearing the Bone Spike helmet, which should go with the Bone Spike boots, but I thought they'd fit her better. When you rage, hostile creatures in a 10-foot radius must succeed a Wisdom saving throw or take 2 to 8 psychic damage. The targets receive half damage on a save. Intimidation +2, and she has menacing attack abilities. She is a bit of a dancer, isn't she? Cloak of Cunning Broom. When the wearer disengages, they also create a foggy cloud within 7 feet radius that lasts for 1 turn. She hasn't needed to disengage, but the cape just looks epic. So I clicked on the folding screen in the background. Whoopsie. Scale mail +2. I saw this and I haven't been able to find any proper armour that looks good for her. Except for this. This one better armour class, but I thought, could it go on her? But you look at this. It just doesn't look right for her. If she was going down a barbarian route, then maybe. But she's one of my favourite characters in the whole entire game. I just couldn't leave her in that kind of armor. And it just doesn't look right. She's gone for a gold and white colouring, I've gone for gold and red, so the scale mail +2, superior metal, you take 1 less slashing damage, ambusher gain +1 bonus to initiative rolls, disadvantage on stealth checks. It's fine. Flawed Helldusk gloves. See that everybody's got different parts of the Flawed Helldusk set. Lesser Infernal Touch. Your weapon attacks deal an additional 1 to 4 fire damage. Your unarmed attacks deal an additional 1 to 4 necrotic damage, and can possibly inflict bleeding, and a strength saving throw. And this is why Lae'zel and Karlach I find are my 2 best close quarters. She's wearing Boots of Persistence. Now this is a recent acquirance I bought this. You gain freedom of movement and long strider, which means she can move quite a far distance, and also I don't think she can set off. She can't be paralysed or restrained and can't Her movement speed is not affected by difficult terrain, and her movement speed is increased by 10 feet. So, as you can see, she's got the most hit points out of everybody, even though Lae'zel's got the adamantine arm. And dexterity saving throws +1. Yeah, it's a good set. Now she's using Ketheric's Warhammer. Why? Hey? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. She is proficient. That's a Warhammer. Oh, is that saying it was showing Shadowheart for some reason? So it was saying that Shadowheart is, you know, not proficient. It was confusing me for a second. So we're using Ketheric's Warhammer, wielding with both hands because I love her using the Warhammers. They're so awesome. She causes 1d10 and 1d8 +4 bludgeoning, 1d4 fire, and 1d4 psychic. That comes from one of the extras, if I remember rightly. And weapon enchantment of +1. So we've got the Envoy's Amulet, Voice of the Circle. That's helped me out on a few talking things, so that's a good thing. Bring a poison resistance. Maybe that should go to Gale? I don't know, but I found that's really, really good for her because they will try and poison her all the time. It's unloaded. And on this one, this gives her Blur, which is even better. Lae'zel, sorry, I should have mentioned this. She can actually blur at the beginning of the fight. And when she blurs, they can't properly hit her, and she's got invisibility. So she can get anywhere she wants, which is pretty good. As I was saying, Breaching Pikestaff was on Shadowheart for such a long time, it really didn't seem right for her. She's now got... I forgot to mention her weapons, didn't I? We'll come back to her in a minute. I completely forgot. I've got to go through all the weapons, haven't I? Moron. I've done Astarion's weapons, I've got to go back to the others. Yeah, as I said, she's using Ketheric's Warhammer, and I've lost my train of thought then. Hellfire Hand Crossbow, which I thought would be poetic for her to be using. She gets a Scorching Ray shot and possibly inflicts burning when hitting a creature with this weapon while hiding or invisible. The thing is, she doesn't really does any shooting from invisible, so it doesn't really help her. But before she used Ketheric's Warhammer, she used the Faith Break. This weapon stayed with her through Acts 1 and 2. Both acts. And this weapon, with the absolute power, hit the final enemy of the final fight with this attack. And you know what I said? This is from the absolute. And that was the final impact that weapon had. So, yeah. The Faith Break was a very, very faithful weapon. So, we've got Will. Just got to find him.